probably hired salespeople or have been thinking about it when you're scaling 200K a month. And the reason why you have bad hires and never able to get that A player is not because you're hiring the wrong people. Your business itself causes this issue. And today I'm going to show you the 8 ways to fix that and the exact methods that we have used to scale our clients to 6-figure and hire those AA players. Now, before I go into this, or if I go any further, you have to realize this is an actual problem. It is data I've taken from Claude, and Claude tells you know everything about the business that you want to know. Now, what happens is that while you're scaling to 100K a month, these are across all businesses. Today we're going to specifically talk about info because that's what we do here if you're probably new here. But the problem that I want to make here is that the biggest issue that comes to scaling 200K a month is that you have to go from an operator to a manager, and most people suck ass, literally. So one of the worst things that you will see, people can do 10 jobs, right, but they cannot become a manager. And you can see this in every single industry. Now, of course, like food, hospitality, like these are really, really big niches. But if you look at our industry, marketing and agencies, it's pretty high up. It's a 30% churn rate that comes up, right? And it's sitting around. And most info businesses are even bad because sometimes the offer just isn't there, and the nature of the business causes people to just leave. Now, how can you fix it, right? Because we know this is a massive issue. Now, before I go in any further, I want you to ask yourself is that why is hiring people for a job that they know they're going to do is so hard? Like, ask yourself, it should make sense, right? I hired this person to do this job and they should be able to do it, but they're 99% of the times not. What is actually happening there? Well, the first thing that happens is that you have to spend more time finding the right person than training them, because what happens is that most people who apply for these jobs are hiring out of desperation. Now, what does that mean? You have a person, right? Let me make a cute little person, or should I call him dumbass in this case? You have this person, right? He wants money. That's the truth of it. A lot of you will go in there, you will like, no, he wants to work, he wants to get experience, he just wants to make money. Now, your job could be the pathway to it, and that person could have some qualifications, but the main issue that comes in is that that person is chasing the money. He's not chasing the role itself. So when you're hiring salespeople, you're hiring all these people. You have to find the people that may necessarily not have the skills, but are hungry to work and actually have the work ethic to prove themselves something. Now, this is the hardest part to do. And the reason why you spend hours on it is because you spend more time not actually finding the right person, but you just train them. You're trying to, it's like, imagine training a baby to run your sales team. That dude's just gonna say
goo goo gaga all the time. Like,
he's not gonna be smooth. He's not gonna be anything. That's an extreme example, but that's what happens in 99% of info businesses today, or any business in general, is that you have to find and take the time to find the right person rather than spending hours training them. And this leads to the second point, which is super important, is that your business maybe just not big enough. It's not a big enough business, because those A players that you're looking for, those people that are like a guy who comes into a 300K business that did this in 2 months as one of our clients. He's getting paid decent amounts. A closer comes in, that person made 45K. That dude is chilling. He has a high quality life. That's an A player. Because what happens is that you're trying to get to these levels. You're trying to get to all these, people who are amazing at their work, but they are just not motivated enough by the money. They're just better offers. They're just better people. They just have more skill. So how can you fix that? Now, there's 2 ways to do it. Either you can train a person, which is path A, which is most of you guys probably should do. And the second path is you doing the work yourself and then hiring that person. But the easiest way to do is that find someone who's a mid-level or mid-tier at their skills and just teach them the entire thing. And if you find the right person who's hungry, this is not an issue. This just doesn't become an issue. Most of you guys are hiring complete idiots who don't even care about your own business. So you have to look into that a lot. Now, third point is, which is extremely crucial again, is that hiring the people that don't want the job. Like, this is such a common issue, guys. You're hiring people to do their work, which they enjoy. They're happy to do it. They're smiley faces. If you have someone who's just solely motivated by the money, he's going to leave as soon as he sees an offer that is giving double or triple that. And that's what happens, is that even if you hire an A player that doesn't really like you or your company, or doesn't fit the culture, which we're going to talk in a few minutes, and super important, is that person is just going to leave. They are going to leave your business, not because they're a bad person, not because they hate you. It's because of the fact that they don't really care. Like, no, they are not there to, be in a business where they're not going to make more money. And maybe it's just that person that they just hop from jobs to jobs to jobs, and they just want to make more and more money. But we don't want that. Now, that's why the first key point is so important, guys. Super important. Now, this is where a lot of you are making such a grave, massive mistake. Now, what happens here is that you hire the person for no reason. And this sounds like, wait, I hired the person for the right reason. I'm the best. But what happens is that, we're going to get into this later. This is going to be super interesting. But what happens is that most of you guys hire a person that you found out of just desperation. You wanted to fill a role, or somebody gave you a role. Maybe you're a manager of a company watching this, and you're just like, hey, I want to fill this role in. I don't care if whoever comes in. I don't care if I hire the most incompetent person, the most idiotic dumbass I can find. I just want to fill this role because I don't want to feel the pain or the headache of going to the hiring more. And that's the biggest mistake most companies make, is that you have to ask yourself, am I actually hiring the person because there's a gap in the business, or is it a part of my business that I don't want to do? And that's a really, really hard thing to do, because you can hire a person to do the job, but if you're not skilled enough or you don't know how to lead them, they're just gonna be you're just gonna lose money on it so more and more. So what you have to look into is be like, okay, let's say I hire a sales rep, right? I hire a sales rep, I am taking closing calls. Now it could be good as that. Let's say I have 30 calls, right? I'm taking 15 myself, but I have to do more tasks. Now that's a scenario. But if you're getting just 15 calls and you don't like sales calls and you're not taking them for that, that's a mistake you're making right then and there, because you don't know the process in and out. And are you not liking it? Are you that bad? How much are you closing? If you're closing a lot of them and you still hate it, then that's a different topic. But most people, 99% of them, half of the time, are just going to hire people because they hate the process or don't want to do it themselves, which is super, super crucial, because that leads to another super crucial point, which leads to just companies breaking down. And I've seen this over and over again. Which happens is that you are still desperate to find the role, right? You're still in the wrong spot. And this is such a crucial mistake. I've just talked about it right now. And these 2 points go inside of each other. Pause. But you have to understand that if you hire the person for no reason, and then you're just filling up those spots, and you are not competent enough to even teach or talk with that person, you're gonna basically lose that money or that hire. You could have chose someone later on and could have made way more money, could have trained way better person, and that would have done you way, way better than you going off and just, hiring some dude because you just don't like the work, which is super, super crucial. And this is, and again, such a massive one. This is just such a big mistake most people are making, is that they pay for the role and not for the outcome. Again, this goes in, these are all kind of interconnected, but this is such a crucial one, guys. Like, I cannot understand this. Is that, let me give you an example of someone that you all know. Let's talk about Michael Jordan, right? The reason why Michael Jordan and everybody loves it, MJ, they call him the GOAT. LeBron fans, please don't come after me, whatever the case is. My opinion, he's the GOAT. I don't watch basketball, okay? I just know that he's a great athlete. But the reason why people loved MJ was not because, hey, MJ is getting paid the most. Oh, we're going to have MJ play basketball because he plays basketball. Nobody is doing that. They're like, hey, MJ wins championship. He's one of the most badass players in there. And that's the reason why he gets paid the amount he got paid. And he's striving his team for the outcome. He didn't care that his entire team was, tired, whatever the case. He pushed them to win. And that is what is super, super crucial. If you're not pushing your team, your people to win, and if you're not finding people who want to win, they're just going to be someone who's just eating the cash flow from your business. That's it. That's who they're going to be. They're going to be like, okay, this guy said to edit 2 videos a day, right? And make me 1 script or talk to, let's say, 5 leads, and that's it. That person is not striving to be hungry to win. And that's why you cannot lose the person who is able to do this. A lot of people make the mistake of firing that person actually who's doing more work and actually doing that. People might sometimes find them annoying, but they just want to win. And they don't really care that if they're asking you for 5 or 6 times. Now, of course, there are different scenarios, but what happens is that you have KPIs, and there are people who just do KPIs and then they just, go about their day. We don't want that. We want someone who wants to exceed the KPIs, who want to break the barriers, and want to play with their tongue out and out there and actually care about the business and just rocket ship it to the moon, okay? That's super, super important. Most of you guys hire the people just for the sake of it, and this is super, super important, where you're paying people who are just doing their job. On paper, they're doing everything. Maybe they do a little bit more work, and that's it. They're not really about it, and that's what makes the key difference. Now, here's another part, is that you are hiring 80 years old to work in a team of 15-year-olds. This is such a massive one, and this is super, super crucial, is that, let me ask you a question, right? You have to ask yourself, like, how is your team operating right now? Like, how are they operating right now? Are they operating like the Chicago Bulls back in the day when they were winning championships? After Jordan left, they never won anything. So, like, the team just fell apart. Culture matters so much. And you can ask yourself, are we going to be the dudes who want to chill in Bali and make money from there? Or are we going to be the guys who are going to be in New York running around doing all that stuff? You have to figure that out yourself. That is your job to do, what you like as a person, what you're building your team towards, because you can find the people that enjoy it. Because what happens is that, and this is the messy zone that 99% of people goes in, and this goes into the culture stability and the headcount. Now you have a point where you are at a point where what you have done is, if you hired enough people, where it is okay, like everything is working, but there is a complete issue with the culture of the team. Nobody has that hunger. Nobody is feeling a part of the team anymore. But the work is getting done. And there's a point that happens on the opposite side where there's a lot of culture but not a lot of resources. You have to find like this sweet spot, like in between here, whereas like most of you guys need like 4 people max, like in your team scale to even like, like 500K a month, like something like $1 million a month. I've seen people scale with like, like 6 people in their team. Like that's it. And the reason why it happens and the reason why it's possible is because, first of all, those people are hungry, they get paid more, and they have a culture to win and actually do stuff. So stop hiring grandmas. And this is the easy question you can just ask yourself, right? Is your team full of women? Is it full of men? Are you an aggressive company or more strategic? What type of roles do you play? How do you like to actually have yourself in the business? Where do you want to position yourself? All these things lead into yourself working in an environment that you like and also your team likes, which creates this sort of, culture where you want all of us to win. You want all of your team to win, which is super, super crucial. Now, before I go into it, and there's the last and the most important point that I want to make in this video is that you have to really ask yourself about why are you hiring, and you have to ask the person coming in what is their goal for getting hired. A lot of times people hire setters, but they want to be closed. They want to be managers. I will tell you this straight up front. I work with 6 and 7 figure companies as a setter myself for massive businesses, and I just did the role because it was paying well. I knew that. I knew I had to do something more. Of course, did I give it my best? Yes. Did I have testimonials? Yes. There's people like me? Yes. All those things are true. But I knew that I wanted to be either a sales manager, I want to start my own business, whatever the case was. You have to really ask the person who's coming into your business and really have to ask yourself, who are you letting inside of your business and the reason why it is happening and what's the main process behind it. Now, the 8th and the most important part is that you might have all these things right. You might have all these points correct, but now you have to think of that. If you hire more people, how are you going to get more leads? And to actually, before you even you're hiring, do you have the why, which I just talked about right now, to even hire people? Do you have the capability to actually pay someone on a payroll and actually have them work in your business? And if you want to fix that problem, just click the video right